Hello, it is FMC. It is Tuesday, April 23rd. I am Jeremy. That is SP3. And the last time we did a show together, it wasn't wrestling, but it was supposed to be wrestling. This time, it's definitely not wrestling. It is FMC.
Yes,
We are back. We did a show last week, didn't we?
I'm pretty sure we did because we talked about X-Men '97. That
Oh,
was
we
the first
did.
time.
Yeah. All the shows blended together last week because we did 3 episodes of In the Weeds, but like 1.5 of those episodes weren't actually wrestling talk.
That one
So
on Friday. Oh my god! As I'm off camera and I'm like checking in to see if y'all are still talking. I was like, I was waiting for Joe to come back and say, "You take the ratings," because I was like, "It ain't going up. It usually goes up on in the week." This guy said,
Joel,
"F the rating."
so
I'm booking what I want to book. It's like Vince went on vacation and left Vince Russo in charge in 1997.
that's mean.
And
That's mean. I disagree with that statement, by the way, because Vince Russo would have promised you a world championship match and all of these great things and then pulled the rug from underneath you with bullshit. I'm cursing 5 minutes in. You got me heated on this. SP3 calling me Vince Russo out here. It's the meanest thing you've ever said to me.
come on, you had two people you do shows with on a weekly basis being like, I don't know about this one. We both
So
were just like, well, I don't know about this one. I understand you're excited, but
here is
we could
my.
we could have done it today on End of Weeds. We could have done it today.
I want to review the Taylor Swift album today. It's still relevant, but like you want the immediate reaction to it. Here is my complete argument on this, and it's the same argument I've been making. I did not bait and switch anybody. I did not make false promises. I told everyone from the start. I put it on social media. I put it in the Discord. I said it from the start of the show on Friday. We are going to not talk wrestling. We're going to review the Taylor Swift album. And when SP3 comes on, we might talk challenge. We might talk X-Men. But we're not. My goal is to not talk wrestling this show. And if you don't want to watch it, I completely understand. I am not begrudging you at all. And that's exactly what I did. And we did a co-stream with you to lead into wrestling.
Jeremy
So
Fitting. Jeremy Fitting from YouTube
I
channel to YouTube channel.
so
Hey, we
I
hit
didn't
we hit
lie.
14K because of Jeremy Lambert doing a lead turning into Lee Fitting. We hit 14K over the weekend because people were stunned by the crossover of Fightful Overbooked and True Hill Heat.
I didn't lie to anybody. I was upfront with everybody. And again, I don't think people like if you want to get mad, fine, that's your prerogative. But it's not like I bait and switch and like we're gonna preview AEW Dynasty and WWE SmackDown and it's gonna be great, and then we never get to any of that stuff. Nope. I said no wrestling. I held up my end of the bargain. If anything,
You did at the end of Wednesday say you did tease at the end of the Wednesday show that you were gonna do your Tony Khan bit for the AEW Dynasty card, and you never did that.
no one needed that.
You couldn't even talk about Dynasty over on True Hill Heat. You did the Lee Fitting, one shot, and then right when it went to commercial, it was like he was like deuces.
I did not want it. So here's some more truth for everybody. Okay. I was severely depressed this weekend. Like I was just super depressed, very burnt out.
I know the feeling.
Okay. I was very depressed. I was very burnt out, largely on wrestling and then other stuff going on. But like, I was just so burnt out on wrestling. And Friday's show was a nice break from that. And then it didn't matter because Saturday, like, I still had to work Friday night. WWE did releases on Friday night, which made even worse of like, shit, now I got to do all this. 2 shows on Saturday, a big pay-per-view on Sunday. So it's not like I really got away from wrestling, but like I was so burnt out on wrestling, and I still am to an extent, but whatever. It's my job to do a lot of this stuff. It's like I kind of needed Friday's show to just not talk about wrestling a little bit. And I think I said this on the show yesterday. If not, I'll say it here. Like you messaged me yesterday. I was like, hey, do you want to do True Heel Heat reviewing Dynasty? I was honest. I was like, I'm probably not the person you want for this show because I was paying more attention to hockey and basketball than Dynasty. And like, I don't think I'm good like match by match anyway. Of like, oh yeah, that was a cool move in this match, and that was really fun. That was a fun spot. Like, I'm not that person. That's why I stopped doing the SmackDown review shows because I'm like, I don't like doing. And SmackDown's a little bit.
You don't have to do the play-by-play. I do the play-by-play. All you got to do is give your opinion, and I set you up with questions. You don't know my. You got to see one of. You've been on one of my reviews.
I know.
So like, one.
I know, but like, I don't feel I have a whole lot of great insight into that because I'm just like, good match, and that's just boring. Like I don't feel
you could have joined me and Caden in ripping apart the Jericho match, being the little bit being the roach in a great little grilled chicken sandwich that was AEW Dynasty. Oh, you got a roach in here? It's got a screw. It got a screw.
Well, when you say Caden's on the show, that gives me less incentive to do it.
You see what I was forced to do? Everybody from True Heel Heat has to work. Romeo has to work. I hit up all the NWA podcasts. I hit up you. I hit up Joe Holbert. Imagine if y'all both said yes. We could have had a reunion there, but y'all both said no. Like it was. I was at desperate time, desperate message. I put up a tweet. And Kaden was the only one that asked. I'm only ripping him apart for it right now because that's the gimmick on this show. I appreciated him because if it wasn't for him, I would have had to review the whole show on my own, which I honestly is worse than that because I just feel like I'm talking to myself and then I get cotton mouth and stuff like that. I need a breather.
JJ's
and he's a great beat reporter that asks great questions at the Post Media Crumbs. Yeah.
JJ's taking shots already. Hello to my favorite stars. Happy the Knicks won. Showed we have the dog in us. Unlike LeBron. Sorry, SP3. Much love to both. That's what we're really doing here. Killing time so we don't have to talk about the Lakers because I'm trying to spare SP3 here.
I mean, it was a great night of NBA basketball. Both games were spectacular.
Fantastic.
The way like the crowds were amazing in New York and Denver, especially as the games were very close down the stretch, and how the games end when you end the game with everybody going wild. I know there's wrestling companies everywhere being like, I want to leave our fans like that. Like you can't do it because that's what sports is all about. That's what playoff basketball is all about. That it leaves you with those moments, those iconic moments where my Lakers failed to double team the one person we needed to double team with 5 seconds left on a pick and roll.
How you feeling after that loss, SP3?
Our biggest blown loss of the season, 20-point blown lead. I was it took everything in me. As you know, we went to halftime and we was up good. I was like, it took everything in me. Don't tweet. Don't put out a message. I was like, it's going to turn out well. I was like, I had it on, but I wasn't even really watching it because I had turned it on and we were in the lead. So I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be watching it. No, I was like, I'm going to listen to it. It's going to be like the radio. I had it in another room. I'm in like the hallway at times, pacing around and stuff. My missus going to the bathroom, like, what's going on? Like I was like, we're doing well. We're doing well. I'm just staying busy. I'm in my laptop in the hallway and stuff, just listening to the game. And then it got close. So I started watching the end of the game and you just knew it was happening. You knew it was going to happen. Once it got to the fourth quarter and they were under 10, it was under a 10-point game. I was like, well, sounds like the Lakers are going to blow this one.
Anthony Davis, Defensive Player of the Year.
Hey, I'm not going to get mad at him on that one, man. There was no way. There's no way to guard that. How are you going to guard that? He did the best he could.
Sure. But Jokic, he couldn't really do much with Jokic. He kind of burnt out
I
in the
mean,
second half.
Jokic couldn't do anything with him in the first half.
The first half, sure. The second
Yeah.
half, though, where was Anthony Davis in the second half? Where's he been either second half of this series?
Well, it seems like if he has a strong first half, you could be like, he's like, all right, I did my work here. I'm gonna clock out, and then he just leaves.
It's not
Apparently,
exactly the kind of player you want. That's not
no.
exactly like top 5 MVP candidate type of player right there.
You know what? After last night's second half performance, you will never hear SP3 say that Anthony Davis is going to be a top 5 MVP candidate going into the season. I'm going to let him surprise me if he is able to ever achieve that ever again in his career, but I don't see it.
Anthony Davis is who he is. I've been trying to tell you this for years now, and yet you still fall into the hype. You fall into the hype that, oh, Anthony Davis, you're living in that bubble. The bubble that produced the goofy ring. You're still living in that bubble. When he shot an absurd,
it's only
I
called
didn't say it had an
Mickey.
asterisk.
It's
I
only
didn't say it had
called
an asterisk.
Goofy.
I didn't
It's
say it
only
had an
called
asterisk.
Goofy. It's only called Mickey just because, yeah, the Lakers won. We get it.
The
We
Lakers
get
were
it,
the
yeah.
best team in the league that year.
We were. We
Yes.
would have won. We would have won bubble or not. So
I partially believe that. Here's what I do know about the bubble. Anthony Davis has never shot that well from 3. He hasn't shot that well since. He barely shot that well before. All of a sudden in that bubble, the man turned into Steph Curry from 3. And it gave all of the Lakers fans this false hope that Anthony Davis is this great shooter. He's this great outside shooter. And it's not the case. He is who he is. Yeah, he didn't have to travel. He didn't have to go anywhere. People say it's the hardest ring. You know, the players even say that. Said, "Oh, it's the hardest ring to win." I don't fully agree with that. I mean, who am I to tell these players that they're wrong?
exactly.
But you're taking away the elements. The elements is what makes things more difficult to win.
No, taking
Yes,
the elements away. They're used to the elements. They prepare for the element.
they're
Taking all the
not.
elements away was completely different.
They're not. No. No, 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 no. Think of it this way, SP3. Think of it this way. I got 12 kids, right? I got 12 kids. They're all running around. They got to ask this question. They got to ask that question. Somebody falls, somebody gets hurt. And I got to deal with all of this as I'm trying to work and everything. That's what makes it difficult. Could you imagine how much work I'd get done if like none of that existed? If I was just left to my own devices, I'd get plenty done. I'd be even more of a machine than I am. That's how it was. They didn't have to deal with the crowd yelling. They didn't have to deal with all the travel and everything. It's just you just got to play basketball. That's it. You don't have to deal with anything else. That's why I think it was easier than they want to admit. They want to say it was hard so they can make it seem like, oh, yeah, this is actually difficult. This actually does mean something. I disagree.
I mean, that's your opinion. I'm gonna take the opinion of the NBA players that actually played in those conditions. I'm gonna take their opinion a lot more seriously than
NBA players are kind of dumb, though.
I mean, and I didn't say they were smart. I said I'm gonna take their opinions and I'm gonna respect it because they experienced.
And their opinion, every
they're
play is a foul.
they're talking about their experience. It's like being a critic of anything, of a movie, of a TV show, but you don't watch it. But you're criticizing it based on other criticisms that you've heard about it and
This isn't
over
correct at all.
embellishing.
This isn't correct at all. Do you blame the refs for what happened last night?
No, I don't blame the reps.
Okay.
We
I was
lost.
just saying if you were that
We
type
blew.
of fan.
No, I'm not. I'm not that type of fan. I'm not that. I'm not a part. I am not the prototypical Laker fan.
The players are blaming the refs. LeBron's blaming the refs. D'Angelo Russell's blaming the refs.
I've heard it. I heard even Darvin Ham. Darvin Ham was blaming the refs. I mean,
Ham.
You blew it. It was Darvin Ham's fault. I blame Darvin Ham. If you want to ask me,
don't worry. He's got more adjustments to throw at Jokic. Don't worry. He's saving them all up for Game 7. Saving them all up for 2025.
He's got to stop trying to. I think he's trying to play like LeBron minute for minute with Jokic. It's you got to play AD minute for
That's what he
minute
did
with
last
Jokic,
night, and it didn't
and
work.
and it worked, and it worked. That
Well,
was
they
a great
lost,
adjust.
so it
That
didn't
was a
work.
great adjustment. It worked out for us for the most part. We just blew it at the end. He ran out of legs at the end of the game. Guys was getting the same shots they were getting in the first half. They just weren't making them.
Isn't that speaking to a little bit of conditioning? Like Anthony Davis, the fact that he completely falls apart in the second half of these games, a little bit on conditioning. Everyone likes to make fun of Jokic. Oh, it looks like he's just slagging out there. It doesn't look like he's putting any effort. He always looks like he's tired. Jokic is a machine. He doesn't
Yeah.
stop. Anthony Davis is the guy with his hands on his hips with 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Can't get down the court.
I agree. I saw too many possessions where the Lakers couldn't get down the court from early on in the game to late in the game, and those possessions were the reason that they got back into the game. So yeah, I mean, what
Don't
can
worry,
I say? They gotta
Christian
work
Wood's
on
gonna come
they
in
gotta
here.
work on AD's condition. They gotta play some of their bench players, and their bench players got to give us some productive minutes when they're out there on the court. I think isn't Jared Vanderbilt back? So like
Allegedly for game 3. There you
yeah,
go.
he'll be
Christian
back.
Wood, Jared Vanderbilt.
Yeah,
These are the
he'll be back.
guys.
We just need them to put productive minutes where they're able to stay in front of Jokic. Make it at least difficult for Jokic. You know Jokic is going to get his, but at least put a hand in front of him, put a body in front of him, bump a body on him. Like that's all.
Don't
That's all we're asking. And Jared Vanderbilt, he plays great defense. Like pretty much 1 through 5. I've seen him. I've seen him play. He plays pretty good defense on
I
all
mean, Anthony
positions.
Davis, he plays great defense 1 through 5. He should be defensive player of the year. That's working well.
So all you're gonna do is sarcasm. Oh,
Here's
congratulations.
no. I wanna have an honest conversation about Anthony Davis.
I'm giving honest conversation. I'm giving honest points and adjustments that we need to do for game 3. They took care of business on their home court. Now we got to take care of business on our home court, or this is done. This is done. This is over with. We don't need to have the conversation.
You're the one saying Anthony Davis is top 5 MVP candidate.
I was.
Yes. When everyone no one wants to blame this guy for this season. Magic Johnson, he's tweeting of like, "Oh, LeBron and Anthony Davis need help. We got to get these guys some help." Is D'Angelo Russell and Austin Reeves, and that's what they're supposed to do? At what point? At what point? Truthfully, I know you are unlike a lot of Lakers fans. You are level headed when it comes to this stuff. So this is not directly at you, SP3. I want to make that very clear because you are very very level headed when it comes to this. But at what point do you look at Anthony Davis, who played 76 games this year, the healthiest he's ever been, and be like, wait, you played 76 games? LeBron played 71, I think, and you were still an 8 seed. I know you want to be like, oh, Gabe Vincent didn't play. Jared Vanderbilt didn't play. You had your 2 stars, one who's arguably the greatest of all time, if not the at worst number 2 all time, still playing at a very high level. And another guy who everyone wants to consider a top 15 player and a top 5 defensive player. And you were still an 8 seed. At what point does that fall on them, specifically Davis, and not, oh man, if we had Gabe Vincent, we would have been a top 3 seed. If Gabe Vincent and Jared Vanderbilt are the answers to your issues, maybe your issues run a little bit higher than those 2 guys. That's all I'm saying.
Magic Johnson makes a great point. We don't have anyone who delivers consistently
I'm not talking.
Like LeBron and Anthony Davis. And Anthony Davis does get a lot of blame for it. He gets all the heat in the media. The last couple of years, all the heat for our losses go on Anthony Davis. It didn't go much on LeBron. They don't question LeBron's decision unless you
LeBron's
skip Bailey.
doing what he needs to do.
Yeah, he's always doing what he needs to do. It's Anthony Davis being hurt or Anthony Davis not doing this, not doing that. But I don't know why I'm like I have the confused look on my face is why is this coming up now in this year when like you said, he played 76 games. He
Yeah.
averaged 25 points. He averaged 13 rebounds. He averaged 56% from the field. He was playing very, very well. He was an
And they were an
all-star
8
this year.
seed.
He was an
And
all-star this
they
year.
were an 8 seed.
That means that the other people are playing well, and that means that that's a statement to the Western Conference getting better. And that means that the other
everyone says the Western Conference was bad.
Every single team from 1 to 7 in front of us have at least 2 all-stars, if not superstar players on them, and the structure
The Lakers
of their
have
teams.
that.
You're not letting me finish. You're always trying to cut me off.
Okay.
And outside of those 2 stars, they have a very consistent third player that delivers on a high level. We have 2 players that are somewhat inconsistent, but equal out to that one player, and that's why we made the playoffs. That's the only reason that we made the playoffs. But every other team has a third player, if not a fourth player, that is also consistent. Talk about the Clippers. Dallas is probably the only exception to that, but they have come together with Derek Lively stepping up as a rookie and the other players like Cleveland giving quality minutes and playing good defense. Like, no, stop it. Every single team above us is better. It's just better than us.
The Pelicans have better players.
Was the Pelicans ahead of us when the playoffs started?
I mean, they were in the regular season.
No, we beat them. We beat them. So
okay.
We were the 7th seed. So every team above us.
Don't use that. The Pelicans had injuries all season and were still ahead of the Lakers if they went 1 through 8.
And we had injuries all season. But
not
you don't want me to use that as a reason. But
not to your top 2 players. We just said top 2 players.
But no. You said injuries. I heard injuries.
Your top 4 guys were healthy basically all season. Your top 4. Am I right or am I wrong?
No, because they missed a couple of games.
Couple games. Zion missed half the season. Ingram missed half the season. That's their top 2.
Yeah.
Your top 4 were mostly healthy.
And outside of those top 2, they have a better team than us. If you take away the Lakers top 2, you take away the New Orleans top 2, New Orleans would probably win because they have CJ McCullough. They have the best player on the court.
So that means that your top 2 aren't impacting the game the way they should be impacting the game then.
That's my point.
So you are blaming LeBron and Davis.
No, I'm talking. No. I literally said you take LeBron and Davis off the team. You take Zion and Ingram off New Orleans. New Orleans is better than us outside of our top 2. That's my whole point. I'm trying to say outside of our top 2, our team is not good. It's not beating any team. I don't even think it's beating the team underneath us.
I'm trying to tell you your top 2.
What I put an
your
emphasis
number
on,
2
what I
ain't
put
that
an
good.
emphasis on is that Austin Reeves is not the number 3 that I thought he was. And then I'm saying D'Angelo Russell is not the number 3 that he thinks he is. And together, they can make a good number 3 if they can play consistent when it matters. Like, you got 2 different type of D'Angelo Russells in the first 2 games of this series. He played like an absolute all-star in the first half of this game. Then he started missing shots towards the end of the game, but he played very well overall. But that first game, Jesus Christ, it was right back to what he was against Denver Nuggets last year.
And I'm saying your number 2 isn't as impactful as he needs to be. He gets numbers, sure.
That's what
he gets
think.
Numbers.
That's what you think, sure.
You're telling me Oklahoma City? Everybody's got 2 all-stars. That's what you said. Every team above has 2 all-stars. How many all-stars OKC have?
They should have 2.
Who's the second?
Chet Homer.
Chet? No.
I'll take Chet.
I love Chet. A rookie?
Yep.
You want to say, oh, everybody's got all these veteran guys. We got a rookie.
I didn't say anything.
We got a sophomore.
I didn't say anything about veteran guys. When did I say anything about veteran guys?
You said everybody's got 2 all-stars above. We got 1.
I said all-star or superstar caliber players.
We got a rookie. Chet's on an
Who's
all-star, superstar
an
caliber
all-star
player,
caliber player already. Yes, he is.
but he's not there.
He
He
is an
didn't make
all-star
the
caliber
all-star
player.
team.
He put up all-star numbers. If he wasn't a rookie, he probably
No,
would
we
have made it.
didn't. No, we didn't. SP3. No, we didn't. I love Chet. No, we didn't. He did not put up all-star numbers. We were the 1 seed.
Yeah.
You take away our top 2 players and we're better? That team's
Yes.
better than who the Lakers are?
Yeah. If we take away my top 2 players, yes.
So Jalen Williams, Josh Giddey, Isaiah Joe, Jalen Williams, and Gordon Hayward. That's a better team than who the Lakers have?
Then Austin Reeves, D'Angelo
Yeah.
Russell, Jarrett
Yeah.
Vanderbilt. Yes. Definitely.
Really?
Definitely. Yeah.
You're that down on this team.
I'm down on the team without LeBron and AD. I said we're just a top team. That's all we got. It's 2 players. And what we've seen in this league nowadays is that two players ain't enough. You gotta have a freaking team. Your team has a team. We don't.
Whose fault is that?
Oh, that goes above our pay grade here to my good friend Rob Pelinka. I was given Executive of the Year at the beginning of the season. Boy, was I wrong.
It was sign D'Angelo Russell. Sign him to a tradable contract. Oh, we got him on a tradable contract. Oh, we can't trade D'Angelo Russell. He's playing too well.
He guilted us. He freaking guilted us into this shit. Yo, he did all that. He really guilted us into keeping him. Are we ever going to talk about the Sixers and the Knicks, or do you want to keep talking about Anthony Davis?
I don't know. Anthony Davis was healthy all year, and they
you want to have your agenda, your narrative. Even though I've answered it, I've answered all your questions. Yeah, it is. It's an agenda and narrative you're trying to create here. I know the gimmicks. I was doing my research. I know your ways.
I'm pointing out facts that Anthony Davis was healthy all year.
No, you're not.
Was Anthony Davis not healthy all year?
You're not pointing out facts.
Was Anthony Davis not healthy all year?
I've already answered this question. I'm not answering the same question.
And they were still an 8 seed. They had their top 2 guys healthy most of the year, and they were still an 8 seed. You can blame the role players.
What were we seeded?
You can blame the role players.
What were we seeded at?
Fine, 7 seed. You can blame the role players. You can blame the role players if you want to blame the role players.
I'm not trying to put the blame on the role players.
You are. You said the team isn't as good below them. It's a top-heavy team. The Suns had injuries to their top guys. The Pelicans had injuries to their top guys. Maybe your top guys just aren't that good.
Okay, if that's what you think.
Okay.
Okay.
The Sixers and the Knicks, was there a foul on Tyrese Maxey?
Yes.
Yeah, I think there was too.
I mean, I love the Knicks fans, and I have a lot of them in my life who's like, oh, the Sixers are whining about foul calls. I was like, no, he definitely got fouled. I was like, I watched the play a couple of times.
Definitely got fouled.
Yeah, he definitely got fouled. Yeah, I can understand why he's upset.
I mean, Jalen Brunson completely yanked on his jersey.
I watched it in slow motion. I was like, yeah, there definitely was physical contact there. Yeah, that's how that works.
Look, I'm not saying that, JJ's here, he's a Knicks fan, and saying Embiid spent half the game. Embiid embellishes every single call out there.
Oh my God, but Embiid with a great upset heel promo after the game, freaking over here bubbling. He's almost crying. Like, we're the better team. We're the better team. I was like, oh my God, this is his villain origin story. It's great.
I mean, his villain origin story came long before this, but look, Embiid embellishes every call, and I get very, very sick of it. So I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, the Sixers deserve to win because that was definitely a foul. You also just got to call it like it is. It was a foul on Brunson. He grabbed at Maxey's jersey. You can't do that.
You can't do that. That is literally a foul. It's okay. It's a moot point. You Knicks fans, y'all can admit that it was a foul because y'all won. Y'all
Yeah.
won. It don't matter. Say it was a foul, but playoff basketball and Knicks win. So yeah, y'all can celebrate it, but don't lie and say it wasn't.
Look, I blaming the refs. I don't like it. There are a million ways. Get a rebound. DiVincenzo missed the first shot. How is Hartenstein? There's 3 Sixers just standing there, and Hartenstein jumps above all of them to get
Yeah.
the rebound. Get the rebound on that. Call the timeout. Nick Nurse is pump faking timeouts if he's going to call it or not call it if you're worried about the inbound. I'm not saying, the refs were the reason that the Sixers lost the game. No, they had their chances to still win the game, but it was also a foul. I loved it. Don't get me wrong. I
Yeah,
loved it. I don't
it
give a
was great. It
fuck
was
about
great
the
to watch.
Sixers. Yeah. I don't care about either of these teams, win or lose. Doesn't matter to me. I'm all for the drama. That was great, great drama. I'm all for that.
I
It was
just
still
know that
foul.
Knicks fans are gonna be annoying because Knicks will probably make it farther than the Lakers for once in their miserable existence. So they'll talk about it all year long until next year's playoffs.
Probably. But I mean, look, let them have it. Let them have it. They were a 2
Congrat
seed.
Congratulations. Have you ever seen your team win a championship? Oh, you don't know how that feels. Oh, okay. My bad. Go ahead. Go ahead. Be happy.
It was a good game last night. I can't believe the Sixers.
Two great games.
Yeah.
2 great games to watch.
There was another game on NBA TV that no one watched. I actually watched that game.
Was there?
Yeah, I watched it.
Who was it?
The NBA TV series between the
Oh,
Cavs and the Magic. Yeah.
who won?
The Cavs. Cavs have been dominating this series.
2-0,
Maybe the Magic.
yeah.
Jalen Suggs being hurt's gonna change it. Like, that's a big loss for the Magic. So
Oh, y'all some frauds, Louis. Y'all some frauds. Y'all
was
up
an
here
ugly,
looking
ugly game.
fraudulent.
That was an ugly game. Very ugly. I can't believe the Sixers didn't get either of those games in New York. They had chances in both of them. They really should have won last night. And
Yeah,
I'm not
honestly, that's the bad thing because these 2 series I thought were gonna be close, but like the way both teams, Philly and LA, lost, it felt kind of demoralizing. Where that even though they're going back home, I can understand. Like if it doesn't turn out well and both teams lose in Game 3, I totally understand because it felt like demoralizing losses, even though they were so close games.
Which do you give a better shot at possibly winning the series? Lakers or Knicks? Or Lakers or Sixers?
Sixers.
Sixers.
Yeah.
I mean, can the Nuggets beat the Lakers 12 straight times?
Probably. I just want us to win one game. Just end the bleeding. Just end the bleeding. Can we just win one game? Don't make it another sweep. Just win another game.
It does feel like the Lakers not getting the game last night was their chance.
That was their chance.
Because if you're 1-1, maybe you still don't win the series, but you're 1-1.
But that was a momentum shift.
Yeah. Because now to win the series, you got to win 4 out of 5. You haven't won 1 out of 10. How are you going to win 4 out of 5?
Seems damn near impossible, right?
I mean, maybe LeBron James will. Louis says sweep gets ham fired quicker. You can't fire him. He's got those adjustments to make in the 2025 playoffs.
But who are we going to get to replace him? That's the question.
I think they missed their boat on the Tyronn Lue not going with him.
Yeah. They should have went with him. Honestly, I wanted that. And I know LeBron wanted that.
You're going to go with, what's the Mark Jackson?
Oh, God, no. It's not a good fit. We need someone with some panache. JJ Redick would be interesting if you want to do like a first time coach, or if we want to finally do it, finish the story and try to convince Coach K to come coach an NBA team. Remember back in 05 when Kobe,
that was the
whole talk.
Yeah, I remember that.
You know,
And
he has a good relationship with LeBron.
the thing, like, LeBron's not gonna be there that long.
No.
I mean, maybe
Fine,
this dude will play another 10
maybe,
years.
but
Fuck.
maybe he can finagle Bronny get into the Lakers. Like Bronny can tank his college career and his pre NBA career so much that he becomes like a lower first round pick.
I mean, I think everybody already thinks he's a low first round pick.
Yeah,
I think
so I think
so.
he would get picked up by the Lakers anyway if he was available and we were
Phil,
in the first round.
what about Phil Jackson?
I don't
Could you
think we can
convince
get
Phil
him.
Jackson to come back?
I don't, I don't know. I think Coach K would be harder to convince than Phil Jackson though.
Yeah, Louis saying that Bronny. I've seen him like go undrafted in a
Yeah,
lot of stuff. So
yeah, me too.
yeah, I don't think there needs to be a tanking of his career. I think it just needs to be.
I
Just
think his
needs to
career just needs to
declare.
be. At
And
least he
just
ain't
needs to
Imani
declare for the
Bates
draft.
though. At least he got good parents. He ain't Imani Bates.
Somebody I saw, JJ Redick is in like consideration for the Hornets job. Is the big report. I saw somebody tweet of like, you got to be a real sicko like to be an NBA head coach. JJ Redick's like the top analyst. He calls games. He's on the morning shows. He's got the one podcast, the Dunker and the Three, and he's got another podcast with LeBron.
Bron.
And he's like, you know what? I can fix the Charlotte Hornets. Like there's got to be something wrong with you if that's your mentality.
Yo, JJ Redick is the type of dude that watches Collision on Saturdays. Like it's for sickos. It's for the sickos. That's the type of dude JJ Redick is. I'm very much interested. He's probably the potential coach I'm most interested in if Redick becomes a head coach. Wherever he goes.
Mind the Game is very good. That's a rare non-wrestling podcast that I listen to. And most of the wrestling ones I listen to for work purposes, not because I enjoy them. But yeah, that's one I try to go out of my way to actually listen to.
I listen to In the Weeds. It's the only other wrestling podcast I listen to outside of myself.
LeBron is JJ Redick. So I grew up. JJ Redick and he's older than me, but I lived in Durham when he went to Duke. I frequented spots JJ Redick frequented. I know how loved he was for the Durham fans, but like the UNC fans, the NC State fans, like I saw all of that very firsthand. Yeah, there's a story for everybody. I was at the mall. In North Carolina. JJ Redick was there. This is when he was at Duke. He was just buying shoes. I got his autograph. I have no idea where it's at now, but I got JJ Redick's autograph. I was buying shoes. He would get harassed at the mall by like UNC fans. Like he was just out there trying to buy shoes. Very nice to us. Me and my friend, we grew up kind of Duke fans. Very nice to us. Again, signed autographs. But then UNC fans would come along and be like, JJ Redick, you suck. Just like at the mall, chilling. They would chant a bunch of stuff at Redick. It was the Duke UNC rivalry is very real. I don't know how it is now. I don't keep up with it as much as I used to, not living in North Carolina anymore. But yeah, I witnessed firsthand, like Redick just could not even go to a mall in North Carolina without just UNC fans harassing that man. So bless him.
Bless him. Yeah, he's one of like the Mount Rushmore of Duke players, like up there with like Christian Laettner, Shane Battier is up there. I was gonna say like nowadays, some people would say either like
Kyrie, Zion.
Zion.
They didn't stay that long though. Like Redick was a 4-year guy. That's why Battier. Like Zion, Kyrie,
Christian Laettner, those guys stayed for years.
Yeah. Jason Tatum went to Duke, but none of these guys stayed. Grant Hill, Grant
Hill is one of those. Yeah, it's one of those first players that I thought from Duke.
Jay Williams, I know his NBA career turned out not
so great. But Jay Williams, he like of the 2000s, that's like one of the Duke players that I think of.
Yeah, the Duke team that won the title, that year with like Jay Williams, Shane Battier, all those guys. That team, I was like, oh, they could beat an NBA team. I was very stupid
Yo,
back,
for real. For
but
real.
now you realize no, that wasn't
No,
gonna
it's not how
happen.
that
But like
works.
living in North Carolina at that time with how good those Duke teams were, I was like, oh, this dude, they could definitely. The fuck was bad back then. The Hawks, I'm sure, were terrible. They
That
could beat the
that's
Hawks.
how that's how people were talking in New York about Syracuse when they won the
Oh yeah,
championship.
yeah.
I was like,
We
"What are you
were,
talking about?"
yeah,
I was like,
we were very,
it's just Melo. It's
yeah,
just Melo. Melo could probably beat an NBA team, but the rest of these guys, I don't know.
yeah, yeah.
I was a Kansas Jayhawks fan. I remember
Okay,
that team with Kurt Heinrich and Nick Collison.
yeah. Thunder legend Nick Collison, Mister Thunder, in fact, Nick Collison. What else?
I don't keep up with college basketball like that anymore. Ever since I started viewing it as glorified slavery. But now they changed it, so maybe I'll get back into it.
What else from the NBA playoffs sticking out to you?
I mean, I'm so distracted by the Lakers. But Boston looked dominant against Miami. No
Yeah,
surprise
no
there.
Jimmy Butler.
No
It's
surprise there.
yeah,
Clippers came out smoking against Dallas, but really the talk of the weekend was Anthony Edwards and his performance
yeah.
against the Phoenix Suns. Like people talking about him like in rarefied air as far as like his playoff. He flipped the playoff switch and he's become like Kobe Bryant, Jimmy Butler type.
He had a hell of a performance against the Suns in that game, and offensively and defensively. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously the offensive highlights are going to stand out, but like he was all over Beal and Booker when he largely guarded Beal, but anytime the switch came onto Booker, he was all over him as well because McDaniels was guarding Booker for a good chunk of the game. No, I thought the Suns were great against them in the regular season.
Yeah.
Game one anyway, it was a different story. We'll see game two. Louis saying no road team has won yet. Yep, that's
Nope. We
we'll see
came
if
close. We came
a
close to
few
being the
teams came
first.
close. A few
Yeah,
teams came
yeah.
close. I mean,
Sixers came close as well just before
Sixers,
us.
the Pelicans came close.
Yeah.
Pelicans came close. Yes, OKC won the first game. I'm not like it's tough for me to be like, oh shit, that game we. It's tough for me to be down considering we won. You're up 1-0 in the series. I can't really complain about that. I actually think the fact that we did win that game bodes well for the rest of the series because that's a game that teams typically, like young teams like this, typically lose. And so the fact that they were able to still hold on and win is a good sign. Yeah, we'll see. The game two is not till tomorrow. Um, Pelicans without Zion aren't as good, but the thing is they present different matchup issues without Zion. I mean, everyone's talking about the Pelicans this year of like Zion and Ingram aren't like the greatest fit in the world together. They almost like get in each other's ways because of the way they play. Ingram doesn't take a ton of threes. Zion takes like no threes. So like the spacing with them isn't exactly the greatest in the world. And when Zion would dominate when it was just him with all the spacing around him. That's how they
Yeah.
made their big run against the Lakers to nearly win that game before Zion got hurt. Is Ingram was sitting. It was just Zion bullying and then finding 3-point shooters.
Yeah.
Um, Ingram is Ingram. Dort had him in the torture chamber. But they present
The
problems in
torture it's the torture chamber.
yeah, the torture chamber. Yeah, that's what it's called.
So ridiculous, but I love it. It's better than Kobe stopper, Ruben Patterson.
Kobe stopper, LeBron stopper as well. That was
Who?
everyone's.
That was
Oh, he's a
Lance
LeBron
Stevenson,
stopper.
right?
They tried to make a bunch of people the LeBron stopper. Yeah, the torture chamber, baby.
The torture chamber.
They present problems though. Like Herb Jones is a really good defender. He troubles Shea a lot. Valanciunas is super physical. Like, he got like 20 rebounds in game one. So the fact that they came away with the victory is a good sign. I think we'll win this series. We'll see what
You
happens
will.
next series. Whether it's the Clippers or
That's
the
that's
Mavericks.
that's what you're gonna be worried about because a lot of people are gonna take the lower seed.
Well, yeah, a lot of people were wanting. Everyone would have taken, and I understand the reason why. Who knows how the series would have played out? If the Lakers had gotten the 8 seed, everyone would have taken the Lakers over the Thunder.
Yeah,
Everyone.
yeah.
People were calling the Thunder the most fraudulent 1 seed, the weakest 1 seed. Like,
I didn't call them that. I think I mean, I saw too many Atlanta Hawks Eastern Conference #1 seeds to call the Thunder a fraudulent number
those
one
teams were
seed.
good though. Like, I understand, oh,
They
they're
were
fraud
good
1
they
seed.
were good regular season teams.
People thought that
I knew they weren't going to go to conference finals with most of those teams.
because they had to play LeBron. No one
Yeah,
bet them over LeBron. That's what it came down to.
yeah.
This team, we look, luck, whatever it is, we got the Pelicans. We got the matchup we got. You can only play the team in front of you. So we're playing the Pelicans. And right now we're up 1-0. We'll see how game 2 goes. I'm a little worried about it.
Who would y'all rather have, Mavs or Clippers in the next round? I got the Mavs in 7.
We got to beat the Pelicans first. I'm not thinking about the next round.
But who you got in the matchup?
Oh, in the
Mavs
matchup, I thought that if Kawhi was healthy, the Clippers. And Kawhi missed game 1 and the Clippers still won. So I don't really have a reason to move off of the Clippers. I said with the healthy Kawhi, the Clippers. I did think like,
they're
hey,
giving him more time to rest.
I think they're lying about how injured he is, by the way. Maybe he comes back. I think he's listed as questionable for tonight's game, but or maybe they don't play again until tomorrow. But I think they were lying about how actual health he is. I don't think there was any shot he was ever playing game 1, and they made it seem like, oh, you never know type of thing. But that's what you do in the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
The Sixers tried to say, oh, Embiid and Maxey are both questionable, and then they're the only dudes who showed up in that game last night. So
Yeah.
I don't know how healthy or not healthy Kawhi is. The fact that they were able to win game 1, it was obviously big. They have home court, which is obviously big. Here's my thing with the Clippers and the Mavericks. And this is what I thought, again, with a healthy Kawhi. I thought you can throw Paul George and you can throw Kawhi at Kyrie and Luka. And you're never going to slow these guys down, but to trouble them enough as ISO guys. And then the Mavericks have nobody else who you can like go to and feel comfortable with creating. Who are the Mavericks throwing at Harden and George defensively? They can't get these guys like uncomfortable defensively. You can always count on them to like maybe their offense gets jumped up because the Mavericks were better after the trade deadline with the moves that they made. But a lot of playoff basketball does just come down to winning your one-on-one matchup, hunting for mismatches. And the Clippers have guys like Harden and George who one-on-one can find those mismatches and exploit it. So that's where I thought the Clippers had the advantage, especially with Kawhi, because then you throw another great ISO scorer in there offensively, and defensively you throw a great one-on-one defender in there. Even Westbrook, who ISO not good, but he can still, especially off the bench, give you those explosions to
And
impact the game.
He creates for other people.
So that's why I thought the Clippers were ultimately going to win this matchup. The Kawhi injury changed things, but it doesn't fully change how I thought of it in principle when it comes down to one-on-one scoring. Because I thought the Clippers just had better defenders to match up with the Mavericks than the Mavericks could throw at the Clippers.
I think that the Mavericks defense has stepped up tremendously, and that's why they are in the position that they are. I think they have been, I think, number 3 in defense since the All-Star break. So they have really like stepped up. It became a great team defense. Jason Kidd has kind of like really transformed his reputation as a coach because he's really brought the team together. They were a complete failure last year, a number 5 seed this year, one of the hottest teams in the NBA the second half of the season. That's what I was going to take that momentum. I think that momentum was going to translate into the playoffs when you have Luca, who's been a Clippers killer most of his career in the playoffs, and then you add another great ISO scorer who
The
can create for other people like Kyrie Irving, and then the other teammates have improved throughout the year, especially Derek Lively. So I thought that that team could just overwhelm the Clippers, who are known for certain people not performing in the playoffs well.
It was exaggerated how much. Look, Luka's played very well against the Clippers. How many series has he won against the Clippers?
Oh, zero.
Yeah.
But I'm saying he himself is a Clippers killer. I didn't say the Mavs. It's like
No, I
they've
know.
lost
But
every single series.
they've still lost. Yes, they've lost those series. It's not that I didn't believe in the Mavericks. They were obviously better. The trade So after the trade deadline, they played a lot better. Their defense definitely was better. March basketball, a lot of people have said it. March basketball isn't the most indicative of like how teams are going to play throughout the playoffs. The Nuggets weren't good in March last year. They won the title. Like I know people have like done the how good they were in March compared to how they played in the playoffs. And there's not a lot of correlation there. The Mavericks were obviously much better in March, but so much of the playoffs just comes down to like one-on-one matchups and hunting for those mismatches. And that's where again I thought the Clippers had the advantage is they could defensively hunt a lot of those mismatches. And then you've also just got to look at like the schedule of teams that you're playing in March compared to who obviously the playoffs. Like this is I'm sorry to I'll use Embiid. I won't use Anthony Davis. Embiid, the big thing was like, oh well, he just beats up on Washington and Charlotte and Atlanta and all these terrible teams. Like, of course he looks good. What's he doing against like these better teams? Like he still has success against these teams, but a lot of teams can pad things and you can make it look better
Yeah.
because you're beating up on, oh, we beat Detroit and Chicago and Utah and Sacramento. I know Sacramento was like fine, but they weren't a playoff team at the end of the day. It's like we just beat up all these teams. Like, cool. You're not playing these teams in the playoffs.
I mean, that's a good point. That's a valid point with, focusing in on a particular month and saying that it doesn't translate into the playoffs, but we shall see. Game
I mean,
1,
look,
you look correct. You look correct because if the matchup and the defense of the Clippers, it just really overwhelmed them, especially and the crowd being behind them as well. Added that, as you said, the elements. But we
here,
shall, we
real
shall
quick,
see how the Mavericks adjust in game 2 because I think that Jason Kidd is going to be able to make the adjustments that he needs to make.
real quickly, and this is, I'm not trying to call out the Mavericks here. Since the trade deadline, though, a win against Phoenix, okay, good win. That's a playoff team, right? A win against Toronto, not a playoff team. Miami, okay, 8 seed, 7 seed, still a playoff team. I'll give it to them, still a playoff team. Detroit, Chicago, look at the balloons. Detroit, Chicago, Golden State, Denver, okay, good win. San Antonio, Utah, Sacramento, Houston, Atlanta, Golden State, Houston, Charlotte, Miami. 4 wins against playoff teams.
Mhm.
That's it. Every other win was against a non-playoff team.
And how many
That's
wins
since the
was in
trade
March?
deadline.
Oh, that was all the wins that they got since the trade
It's
deadline.
all the wins since the trade deadline.
Okay. You can only play the people that's in front of you.
No, I understand that, but this is what I'm talking about when people are like, "Oh, the Mavericks have transformed. They're so much better and everything." You got to look at the teams that they've also beaten and the teams that they, have done well against. They face teams that aren't that good. That's what it came down to. Yeah, you can only play the teams in front of you.
Yeah.
And They beat them
And
as they
and
should.
and much of the talk that I've heard about the praise of the Mavericks was their performances against those 4 teams.
Even those teams. Miami was a low seed. Denver's a good win. That was a 2-point win. That was a good win. What was the other playoff team? Phoenix? Okay. I don't know if Phoenix had injuries in that game, but okay. Like, you had 2 wins against Miami, an 8 seed,
Okay.
a win against Denver, and a win against Phoenix.
Okay.
I just
What's
think the
this
talk
we?
of the Mavericks
Or
was a little exaggerated. That's all.
I don't. I
Okay.
I like what I've seen from the Mavericks, and it has nothing to do with my family being on the team.
Yes, I'm sure it doesn't. I'm sure it doesn't. Look, they could win this series. I'm not completely writing them off on this series. I'm just trying to provide, I guess, context of
You're trying to nitpick us to this.
people. People got mad at me yesterday about like pointing out like a fact or an observation isn't like a nitpick or a complaint or anything like that. Like sometimes I'm just presenting information.
No, you want to put a magnifying glass. I'm wearing a nice suit, and you want to put a magnifying glass to it and be like, "Your suit is wrinkled. I see all the wrinkles. You have 3 wrinkles in your corner pocket. Oh my god, you didn't iron the inside of the suit. Oh my goodness. Like you're just going in and you're just taking out every gray hair in my hair, and I have a lot of them. Jesus. I just said they've played well since the trade deadline, and you was like,
Yeah.
let me go through every single win with a fine-tooth comb.
I'm sorry again for providing information and
Mhm.
context. That's all I
Sure.
did. You can make up your own mind
Sure.
on all of that.
Sure.
That's all I did.
Sure.
That's all I did. The Mavericks could win the series very easily.
Hey,
They
some
could.
people didn't even think the Mavericks were going to make the playoffs.
That's
And
true.
when I say some people, I mean people that I did previews with.
Very true. Anything else from the playoffs?
No, I think that's much that's much talk. You gave them all the information. You did research for them. That was great.
I don't know if my pal Trevor is still here. He was talking about the hockey playoffs, the Canes and Islanders last night. Look, Trevor, I know you're a Canes fan. I know you're at the both games. Congrats to the Canes. I'm rooting for them from the Eastern Conference. I watched enough Patrick Waugh coach the Avalanche to know that's basically how the games are gonna go. He's gonna
What's the
turtle.
series for y'all?
Oh, the Avs are down 1-0 right now. We're not gonna win the series. This was not me being like super pessimistic Avs fan. This was me knowing the team and the goaltending. I said, and Caden will even confirm this because he was like, "Oh, I got the Avs in the finals." I was like, "You're stupid." I said, "No, the Winnipeg's gonna win in 6. Our goaltending's not good enough, and we gave up 7 goals in the first game. We scored 6, which was surprising, but we gave up 7 because our goaltending's not good enough." But Trevor is saying the Canes and the Islanders. So Patrick was the coach of the Islanders. They were up 3-1 last night in the third period, and they ended up losing in regulation. I think it might have been 5-3 after an empty net. But it was still 4-3 regardless. They ended up losing in regulation. When a Patrick Waugh team has the lead, they just go into a shell and they'll give up every shot on goal. And it's just like, hey, goalie, bail you out. And that's not a winnable strategy. I watched it when he coached the Avs for 3 seasons. And it's why they didn't make the playoffs for 2 of those seasons. And it's why they lost in the first round in the other season. It's not, Patrick Waugh does not have a winning strategy in the NHL. Love him. Greatest goalie of all time, in my opinion. Not that great of a coach. That was a great game, though, last night. No hockey overtime so far No hockey overtime. That's the most disappointing thing. I need an overtime
That's
game.
lame.
I need an
What a
overtime
bunch
game.
of what a lame sport.
I need an overtime game. That's all I'm saying. I'm sure we'll get one tonight with like the Winnipeg Jets and the Colorado Avalanche, and I'll be very upset. Oh, jeez. No. Oh, SP. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anything else from basketball?
I think that is all for basketball for me today. That's all I can. All I can think about is how you tried to disparage my Los Angeles Lakers further after I came up here and I admitted I was wrong about two different things, but it wasn't good enough for Jeremy Lambert. Was not good enough for him.
I don't need to disparage them. The series is doing that,
and I admitted that. You didn't even have to go in and try to slander Anthony Davis's name. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, the series is doing enough disparaging talk. Honestly,
So uncalled for. So uncalled for. Should have never let him win a playoff game, y'all. You see the way he act? You see the way he act now? Mm-mm-mm. He was better off being a play-in team.
We're the most fraudulent one seed in history. So it's
congratulations. Okay. You accomplished something this year.
Yeah, I know. If only we could have won that play-in tournament. If only we could have won the in-season tournament. That we would have hung a banner for that.
Hey, you probably have one more banner than you're gonna have at the end of this playoff.
Well, we're gonna have the Northwest Champions banner. So.
Oh, congrats!
Yeah, thank you. We're gonna have one more win than the Lakers have all playoffs.
Congratulations, Jeremy. I'm happy for you.
Thanks.
Now let me know about the championship celebration you go to, or you have gone to.
We're not gonna win a title.
Oh, you've never seen it? Have you seen your team win a title?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what this has to do with anything.
I'm good. I've seen my team win a title, so it doesn't faze me to lose this year.
Okay. Cool.
I know, right?
I'm happy for that you've seen that.
Yeah. I hope that one day you will be able to see yours.
I don't feel like you do.
Even though I doubt it.
Yeah, see, I was gonna say I don't feel like you do hope that.
I do hope. I just doubt it.
Why are you so hostile?
Because I said why. You just try to slander my team.
I'm talking about the game, SP3. Am I not supposed to do that?
Then I'm the bad guy.
I didn't say you were a bad guy. You're just being hostile. I was just talking about the game.
I'm not being hostile.
I just you're kind of making it a little personal when I'm not making it personal towards you. You're making it personal towards me.
No, I said I hope your team wins.
But then you said I doubt it, and then you did your sarcastic little. No, you're making it hostile towards me, and all I'm doing is talking about the game. No, it's fine. It's fine.
No, don't gaslight me. No. Don't gaslight me. I know your tactics. I know your tactics in your mind game, sir. You're not going to gaslight me. You're not going to gaslight.
Everybody just uses this word gaslight without actually knowing what it means.
No, I know what it means. I've experienced it from both hosts of In the Weeds on this channel. It's quite spectacular. I know you have experience because you watch Love Is Blind and you watch hours of that reality television show, which has hours upon hours of gaslighting. So it's probably natural to you that you don't even know when you're doing it.
I feel like you do the same thing. You watch more reality television than I do.
No, I don't.
I think you know about. What do you mean? No, you don't.
I don't watch more reality television than you do. I only watch The Challenge right now.
You don't watch Traitors? You don't watch Love After Lockup?
I finished Traitors. I finished Love. No, I didn't finish Love After Lockup.
You watched
I haven't watched that. I haven't watched Love After Lockup in a full year.
All right, I've never watched it. You watch way more.
You should. You watch shows that I never watch. You watch F-Boy Island. You're the one that put me.
I haven't watched that in a year. I haven't watched that in a year.
I haven't been on it a year.
You watch way more television in general than I watch.
Well, because most of my job is to watch television and then talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah. But you
You're
watch
the
more
one.
reality television than me.
That's not true.
That is true.
We both watched The Challenge. You watched last season of The Challenge that I didn't watch a single second of.
No, I didn't. I watched one episode.
That's still more than I did.
Congratulations. I watched The Challenge more than you. Okay, that's fine. I'll take that.
That's the only reality television show I watch.
No, it's not.
Right now, yes.
You expect me to believe that?
Are you?
I don't know. I understand how you expect me to believe that. You watch one other reality TV show.
Do I need to call my wife in here to say like how little television that I watch? Don't fucking do this.
What's the last reality television show you watched outside of The Challenge?
I guess it was F-Boy Island. Whenever that was on, which was last October. No, Love is Blind, which you also watched.
Yeah,
so Love is Blind. Yeah, okay. So we both watched that. And then it was probably F-Boy Island, which was last October. You really conflate how much like reality television and television in general I watch.
No, I just think are more.
No, fuck off.
Television.
No. Don't say no.
Jesus Christ. I'm the one being hostile here.
Because now you're gaslighting.
You see how it feels now, huh?
Cher Delaware.
I didn't curse at you, though.
I don't know. I just came on. You were yelling.
He cursed at me. I'm taken aback because I said he watched more reality television than me.
Everybody watches more reality television than me, so.
That's true. That is true. I watched more challenge than him. He proved me right. He proved me wrong on that.
I don't know what we're talking about. We've already reviewed The Challenge.
We did that last week.
All right. Good show, everybody.
Is he really upset?
I'm confused.
I'm so confused right now.
What did I come into?
I don't know. You would have thought that I said something mean to him. Like I said, he watched more reality television than me. He proved me wrong. He said he hasn't watched anything outside of The Challenge right now? Okay, you proved me wrong.
Did MILF Manor start yet?
This weekend. Cher, do you unplug anything?
I don't have anything to plug. I'm just here.
All right. SP3, you unplug anything?
Peace, y'all.
Bye, everybody.